If your avoidant ex could somehow bypass all their psychological defenses and speak the absolute truth about your relationship, what would pour out of their mouth would break your heart and infuriate you at the same time. Behind all their mixed signals and emotional manipulation was someone who knew exactly what they were doing to you and chose to keep doing it anyway. I knew you deserved better from day one. I knew from the beginning that you were giving me everything I claimed to want, but was terrified to receive. I could see how much you cared, how hard you tried, how patient you were with my bullshit. Part of me was in awe of your capacity to love someone like me, and part of me resented you for making me feel so inadequate by comparison. Every time you showed me genuine love, it reminded me of everything I couldn't give you back. I knew you deserved someone who could match your energy, your emotional availability, your willingness to fight for the relationship. But instead of stepping up or stepping aside, I kept taking what you offered while giving you scraps in return. I told myself I was protecting you by keeping you at distance, but I was really protecting myself from having to become the person you needed me to be. It was easier to blame my issues than to actually work on them. I used your love against you. I figured out early how much you cared about me, and I used that knowledge to manipulate you. When I needed space, I'd pull away knowing you'd chase me. When I wanted attention, I'd give you just enough warmth to pull you back. I turned your love into my personal yo-yo string. Your predictable reactions to my hot and cold behavior became my source of entertainment and validation. I knew exactly which buttons to push to get you to pursue me, and I pushed them whenever I needed an ego boost. Your emotional investment became my security blanket. The worst part is, I convinced myself this was just how relationships work, that everyone plays these games. But deep down, I knew what I was doing was cruel. I just didn't want to stop because it felt too good to have that much control over someone. I was terrified you'd see who I really am. Underneath all my mysterious aloofness is someone who's broken, needy, and desperate for validation. I was terrified that if you got too close, you'd see how empty I actually am inside. My whole personality is built around avoiding that level of vulnerability because I don't know who I am without my defenses. Every time you tried to get deeper with me, my panic response kicked in. Not because I didn't want closeness, but because I was terrified you'd discover there's nothing substantial underneath all my emotional walls. I'd rather have you frustrated with my distance than disgusted with my authentic self. My emotional unavailability wasn't strength or mystery. It was cowardice. I was too scared to let you see the real me because I was convinced that version wasn't worth loving. I sabotaged us because I don't believe I deserve love. Every time our relationship got too good, too stable, too loving, I found ways to fuck it up because I don't believe someone like you could actually want someone like me long term. I was convinced you'd eventually see my flaws and leave, so I tried to control when and how that rejection happened. I picked fights over nothing, created problems where none existed, and pushed you away during our happiest moments because happiness felt fake and temporary. I thought if I could make you leave on my terms, it would hurt less than being abandoned unexpectedly. My self-sabotage wasn't unconscious. I knew I was destroying something beautiful. But I'd rather be the one holding the knife than waiting for you to stick it in my back when you inevitably realized you could do better. I took your patience for granted. I thought your patience and forgiveness were unlimited resources I could keep depleting without consequences. Every time you came back after I hurt you, I felt relieved that I could keep being broken without having to fix myself. Your willingness to see my potential instead of my reality enabled me to avoid growing up emotionally. Why would I work on myself when you kept accepting me exactly as I was? Your unconditional love became my excuse to stay emotionally stunted. I mistook your strength in staying for weakness, when actually it took incredible strength to love someone as difficult as me. But I interpreted your patience as proof that you'd never actually leave, so I kept pushing boundaries I never should have crossed. I miss you more than I can handle. Now that you're gone, I realize you were the best thing that ever happened to me, and I destroyed it through my own fear and selfishness. I miss not just you, but the version of myself I could have become if I'd been brave enough to let you love me. I think about you constantly and wonder if you're happier now. Part of me hopes you are, and part of me is devastated by the thought that you might be. I want you to be happy, but I also want to be the reason you're happy. I keep wanting to reach out and tell you I'm sorry, that I understand now what I threw away. But I know sorry isn't enough, and that I lost the right to your attention when I proved I couldn't handle it responsibly. I would do it all differently now. If I could go back knowing what I know now, I would choose vulnerability over safety every single time. I would choose growth over comfort, honesty over manipulation, and your love over my fear. I understand now that real love requires courage I didn't have then. I wanted the benefits of intimacy without the risks, the validation without the vulnerability. I wanted to be loved without learning how to love back properly. You taught me what real love looks like, and losing you taught me what regret feels like. I just wish I'd learned those lessons while I still had the chance to do something about it. The truth is, I loved you more than I've ever loved anyone, but I was too broken to love you the way you deserved. And that's something I'll have to live with forever.